This is Armored Warfare on Xbox One, specifically the Xbox One X. Now, this game is not enhanced because it's my game, and they seem to not care for enhancing the console. There's no sort of cross-play enabled, and it's a completely separate experience. So I've played this on PlayStation 4 in the past, and yeah, I've played a fair bit of it there, just a bit to do a review and everything on it. So yeah, that was that. Now it's on Xbox One, and yeah, it's a bit better of an experience. Cool. So you've got tanks. It's kind of like World of Tanks or War Thunder, but this takes place, I believe it is 2030. So it's a bit of a futuristic game. So it's got some like modern tank variables to it. And apparently I've been disconnected from the server. Cool. So we're back in the game because apparently it's having server problems. But I mean, it is day one, so that's kind of expected sometimes if it's popular. So yeah, free to play, like War Thunder, World of Tanks. So you get your tanks and you upgrade them and you level them up, and you need to get your tank progress bar across, and that way you can unlock new tanks. And then you've got like your little field of tanks. There's different factions involved. You can service your tanks and put like insignias on and so forth. Consumables, and there's retrofits, and you can have a commander. You can kind of have a skill section too, and you get your crew, and then there's customization elements too if you want to like pimp out your tank with something neat. Yeah, you can buy it for like 30 days, rent it, and so forth. Lots of little microtransactions. The core game is of course free, but you can get like a premium pass. You can go in the store and you can buy stuff, and premium time, active boosts, and you can pay to convert your currency and your XP to stuff, and you know how these games work. So it's kind of like more of a casual tank game. There's challenges. You can do PvP and PvE. I'm going to show that in a sec here. Kind of see my little quick dossier of matches. The commanders, which we kind of showed with the skill area, and then we've got the skill tree here. As you can see, I'm doing the Chinese tanks because I really don't care too much. So yeah, we've got the few skill trees, and then all this money you can spend like in-game credits to get up the tank tiers. These are premium tank models with the premium currency there, and then just the regular currency is what I've been working up, so I can actually buy this new tank when I get some more money. I'm short like 6,000, so should be soon. And then of course you can at any time just go in and upgrade your vehicle, which adds XP markers so that you can level up faster. So this is a little bit weird playing wise. So we're going to jump in because we've showed the core features, also like the loot crates, supply crates, I guess, whatever you want to call them. I got some for playing, so you might just for jumping in, I don't know. So they lock certain playlists until you reach like tier levels, which is kind of weird. I mean, for a lot of people, myself included, when we go to play these types of games, I just want to do PvP tank battles. I don't remember it being like that on PlayStation 4, having PvP locked, but it is here until you reach tank tier 5. So it's like, it sucks. It's stupid. I don't know why they would do that, because you're just gonna basically get a bunch of people that want to play PvP, and then they can't, and they have to do lame PvE missions. Not to make fun of the PvE missions, I'm sure they're loads of fun to sit there and do the same sort of tasks over and over again against AI, but I don't like that, and I don't care for it. I just want to go in and I want to battle others, because the PvP in this is actually kind of neat. So unlike World of Tanks, where you die and then you're dead, or War Thunder where you die and you come back a couple times, this one you just kind of keep respawning and you're capturing points, and it's more objective based. Not to say the other titles aren't objective based, they're a lot more realistic, the other ones. But this one is like legitimately you're capturing positions and rings and you're trying to hold them off against other people. So it's more like an objective type tank based game, as opposed to more of a strategic, either capture one post to kind of win and take out the others, or I guess War Thunder. Yeah, War Thunder has the same kind of thing where you're trying to capture a post and eliminate the other team and stuff. This one is more like Annex from Gears of War or King of the Hill. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Black Company, don't let cartel forces steal our hard
So yeah, we've got our tanks. From what I recall on the PlayStation, because that's been a fair bit of time, it does load a lot better in rendering. I don't know what it's like on the base Xbox One, because I am on the One X, but it's actually kind of nice. There's little bits of pop-in, as you can kind of see in the distance, but it's really minuscule, and unless you're looking for it like I do, you're not really gonna notice it. I mean, it loads quite well no matter the map. There's a bunch of different environments. This is obviously a desert one, but there's industrial sections, there's kind of regular grass areas, and there's a lot of different options here. Oh wow, this tank did not go through. Usually my shots go right through them. Which tank did I pick? Type 79? Yeah. There we go. It was a tougher tank then. So you got different kinds of kind of weapons you can like shoot on. Well, not weapons, but projectiles you can fire. I can fire off like a smoke screen if I want, just so I can blind my teammates. Most of your details are on the left hand side. You can kind of hold the D-pad down in order to give a quick command if you'd like, but again, the visuals, all the details you need are on the bottom left corner there, so you can see how your tank is doing survival wise, damage wise. And wow, that was a bad shot on my part. Then on the top right you have your objectives, and then on the left you kind of got your team stats and stuff.
Looks like that part of the train is safe. Don't let your guard down. Black Company, enemy forces are moving.
Yeah, so we're going to continue forward. We've got some missions to do on this one, PvE. But it's just kind of like simple little battles, and I don't care for them. I don't know why they force you to do either of them. Because I know in the other free-to-play like games, it's nice to have the PvE for people that are more casual. But I think the majority of players like the PvP, obviously, because that's the focus of these titles. And I want to be fighting against other tanks, other players. It's just AI I find so boring. So there's not just like straight up tanks, you do have like some minor kind of different vehicles and so forth that come into play. But it is the modern tank option, even though it is in the future. A lot of the tanks are, reminiscent of current times.
Looks like you got all the SATCOM.
Oh, nice guys.
We'll send in a team to salvage what we can.
But I think generally it looks pretty good visually. I mean, it definitely captures the environments well. There's lots of depth in them, flora and rocks and vehicles and so forth. Definitely get that militaristic style to it. Move along here. They do a good job of splitting up paths and lanes too, so that don't flip me, don't flip me, don't flip me. That it's a little bit more dynamic and strategic too. Crap. I do think it's more of a casual tank battling game, and there's so many options. I mean, really, especially on consoles nowadays, that we're starting to get all these free-to-play games. I think all the tank ones online are basically present, so you do have that choice. It's like, you can go with World of Tanks, you can go with War Thunder, you can grab this one, you can try all of them. They're all free-to-play, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna like advertise too much for other titles on this one because I'm focused on this game, but I'm just saying there's a comparison of which you can play other ones. And I do find this to be more of the most casual, easygoing. So you're starting to see a little bit more of the poppin', but again, it's really not that bad. I've played some games with some pretty nasty poppin', so you barely notice it. I'm assuming on the base console you might notice it a bit more. I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't. Are we going that way? Yeah, we're going this way. Give this an Xbox One X enhancement. It definitely could have used one because it does look a little bit blurry around the edges. It's also weird. You don't directly interact with the plants and the trees. And I say that in the sense that if we do come across a tree, which there's none really around here, you can actually go through the trees. If that makes sense, you kind of phase through them like you're seeing with the plants here. I'm trying to show that. And then it will like fall over, but you're not directly, sort of hitting a tree and knocking it over. It's a different format for basically player interaction against the environment and dynamic destruction. I guess also maybe for hiding your tank. I don't know. It's just kind of weird style.
Hostile PC.
This is the guys on the other side of this hill. And we're trying to capture a circle, so that kind of feels familiar. I'm just saying, when you actually get to, like, the PvP options, it's a little bit more, you know, objective based. So we can zoom in too if we want to get a close-up who we're shooting. A couple different options. Obviously, you got to line up your tank barrel with the front. It's just like a really typical sort of tank one, and it's weird that this one came out so late on Xbox, considering there's now 2 other tank type experiences that came before it. But I mean, more games the better. This also comes with the Caribbean update, which does add some stuff, so I guess this was a good refresh point. I noticed that for a lot of free-to-play games, they'll come out with some sort of stable new version of the latest big update to come out for the game, or they'll like act like it's a relaunch when there's a new update. You see that with World of Tanks a lot. And they'll be like, oh, the new Mercenaries update, and you know, just to entice players to come back and keep playing it. Are we capturing this? It's kind of totally out of it right now. Friend the front train station, which we did not do. As I accidentally shoot. I didn't want to do that. I accidentally said thank you. Anyways. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's got some decent options for it. If you like the PvE, which I guess, you know, that's your choice on this thing. I need to stop firing randomly when I'm not looking at things. And it does provide some decent maps, some alright worlds. It does seem to run quite well. Performance-wise, there's lots of options for skill trees, and basically doing missions or actually playing competitive multiplayer. It's just weird that they kind of make it less accessible than it should be, because I think that's really going to affect the community in the later days when it's not quite as popular. Some new people will be like, oh, I just want to jump in and, you know, do some PvP, and then it's like, yeah, no, you can't. Or you want to play with your friend, and it's like, oh, you have to sit here and, like, I don't know, what am I looking for? Grind out some stupid PvE for a while. Nobody likes doing that crap. Now, again, just my thought on it, but yeah. Alright, we're on another level because, honestly, I just grew impatient with nobody knowing quite what we're doing. So we ended up with another desert map. I swear there are other environments in this game. But it does give you a bit of a look of a different style because we're more towards kind of night. And a little bit more of an industrial section. You know, where you'd find regular people living their lives, not some weird train in the middle of nowhere. Moving along. I don't know, it's a decent game. It's nothing too amazing. I don't think I'll personally spend a lot of time playing it again.
Identify targets. Hostile tank.
But I mean, it could be a good option for those that are fans of the tank genre. More tanks are always fun, especially since you don't really have a tank-focused game that specifically fits into this genre as far as being futuristic / modern for your tanks. The other ones are always like historical tank-based experiences. And there you can see some more levels of destruction there with the environments. They're small little things. It's not a huge focus on being able to destroy everything. I don't know, I thought they could have maybe used the hardware a little bit more effectively as far as enhancing it for the visuals. But the game does run really well, so I mean, I'm not gonna be too mad about it. They're good options for multiplayer. It doesn't cost anything to play. I don't really feel like I'm at a huge disadvantage from anybody that would buy the consumables and stuff, or the decorative items. I don't think that's too big of a deal.
Identify.
I'm very passionately against their... Oh, I'm in a different tank, by the way, too, if you didn't notice that. Because the other tank's stuck in the other battle because I quit out. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of them locking the fun multiplayer content behind having to play matches. It doesn't take too long to get to where you can play the multiplayer PvP, but at the same time, it's like, why even, you know, do that? Why divide it? Whatever the case, it's a decent experience. Definitely provides some decent time, and being a free-to-play, I don't see why it's not worth checking out. Of course, if you want to get something fancier, there are other bundles present too. Every free-to-play does it. And if you're wanting something that is familiar from these guys, they also did Skyforge, which released as free-to-play on Xbox One earlier in the year. So that was cool. We're just going to capture the port here and get a nice victory. So yeah, free-to-play, lots of tanks, different tank factions, cosmetics, ways to decorate your tank is the way, you know, where the cost comes in if you want to do that kind of thing, and you don't have to. I haven't felt pressured to buy anything. Obviously, there's loot crates, and there's a lot of different modes. They add new content in all the time. Yeah, that is Armored Warfare, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to show PvP or really different map styles. I thought I'd jump in one more just to show off the actual non-desert areas. So you can actually see kind of more natural environment at play that leads into an industrial complex. Go tank, go! Oh, that one actually kind of fell over. That's neat. I think this one you sort of face through. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit more of what I was talking about. I guess that doesn't want to fall apart.
Identify targets.
Hostile PC.
But yeah, I do hope that this is giving a little bit of an additional look at just the different environment at play here.
This is one of the main water pumps. If it goes down, this plant might as well be a junkyard. Target destroyed.
And seems to be a lot of tanks coming at me. So you get a little bit more of a frenzy look. Ow. I do not appreciate the negative firing towards me.
Target eliminated.
You want some too? But like you can see, there's some levels of strategy to it, and it all seems to run really well. I mean, I'm not seeing any issues. It's fairly smooth. It's not the cleanest that it could be, but it's a decent experience. So yeah, that is basically Armored Warfare on Xbox One X.